I'm not in the Marvel.
Good evening, ballers. Welcome to the 26th episode of the Stepback. Your host, Leon Tompkins, my main man, Jacob Moses, and we're here to you live tonight to break down, continue the playoffs in the league, and I mean they did continue, so that's good for them. But it was a good weekend and whatnot. How you feeling tonight, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. It was nice for you to come up, show the family. It was nice. Um, just back to the grind now. That's about it.
Yeah, back to the grind, man. But I enjoyed my stay up there, man. You and your wife were, gracious hosts. You know, I it was real cool. I wish I could have stayed longer, but that grind, that money calls, and
Sure.
I definitely had a great time, man.
Glad you did. It was fun. Do it again.
Most definitely, most definitely. Um, so the last time we left off, the league had boycotted their games. They more or less postponed a good number of their playoff games for 2, 3 days, and we were
Hmm.
wondering when they would come back. Turns out they missed about 3 days. MLB followed suit. NHL followed suit. I'm shocked about that. Uh, WNBA, they stopped a few games. Um, so what was it like to miss some games uh, over those few days?
It was actually it was refreshing to see that they actually pulled through with it because I really didn't think they would do it. Um, for them to just take a stand for that and like, listen, we're not playing, and I think that was just I'll call that a warning shot.
Yeah,
All right. Let's see, if it happens again, let's see what they really do and if they're about it. But, it wasn't really surprising. Because after a while you gotta be about that action. Boss.
yeah,
But
yeah. You're definitely right. They consider it a warning shot. Figured they they know their power, and I guess it came out that the Lakers and the Clippers really came to blows that they were gonna just leave for the rest of the playoffs. But everyone else wanted to keep playing, and who else but Patrick Beverly had some things to say. But you know, I personally thought they would have suspended it for a later date if they were completely about like their actions. But looking back on it, this is the platform they needed. In order to do that, they had to play games. So it's kind of a catch-22. So I mean, I'm glad they got their message out. They know what their power is, and so far they've made some uh, progress as far as many of the teams using their arenas as uh, voting venues,
mm-hmm.
as well as the Nets. They gave about 50 million to Black communities in Brooklyn.
That's what's up. Yeah, I know the MSG is using it as well as a voting station, which is good. I'm not sure about the money they gave. We'll see. I mean, you worth what 4 billion? You better be giving up something, Dolan. But
Yeah, at least he made a comment this time.
yeah, I'm shocked. He probably had it pre-done. He's like, just in case this happens again, guys, we'll be ready. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll see. I don't trust that guy.
Yeah, it's hard to get behind them, but something is better than nothing. So hopefully we won't have to go through this again, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, I guess we'll have to see for a later date.
Absolutely.
Uh, Over the weekend, Brandon Ingram also named Most Improved Player. Um, Glad we finally got one of my predictions right. So
Good call. Very good call. I mean, he deserved it. He, he started to be a little question mark coming, off the Lakers, and he got to New Orleans, and he was featured as the main guy for a while. He looked like one of the best players in the league, and it was great to see. I still think he needs to bulk up a little bit, but he showed out. I mean, passing the ball, rebounding, scoring, and yeah, it was actually great. Yeah, can you go to bed?
Yeah, he really did show out in the beginning of the season before Zion came back
Mm-hmm.
and proved he can be the feature guy. I know he's a restricted free agent coming up, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost certain this helps his cause
Uh,
getting a pay raise.
you know what?
So
You know
that's
what?
definitely helpful for him. I know a lot of teams are going to be after him.
Yeah, but he's going back. I can see if they're matching any offer that he receives. There's no way. He's too young, too talented. It's not happening.
Yeah, most definitely. Also, we got some sad news.
For real.
Apparently, the basketball world really took a hard one
Hmm.
over these past few days. Uh, you know, legendary coach Lute Olson
Hmm.
over in Arizona passed away on Friday.
Hmm.
Um, you know, big time head coach over in Arizona, really put their college team on the college program on the map.
Big time.
Um, yeah, known as Point Guard U.
Mhm. That's facts. You know,
You know,
definitely what Bibby. Who else went there? Bibby,
Stoudemire,
Sotomayor. Yep. Uh,
Jason Terry,
Jason Terry. Yep. There you go. I mean,
and
they.
Gilbert Arenas.
Hmm. I mean, it's just they won the national title in '97. I mean, he had like what 11 or 12 pack titles, and freaking that freaking organization was in shambles. That's another one was in shambles
Hmm.
away. But when he got there, it was just 23 straight tournaments, and took it all went from nothing to something. That's what you want to see in a program, man. That's definitely sad, man. It's had a great record, 589, 187 losses. I mean, RP to him, man.
Yeah,
Really.
it's really a rough blow.
Hmm. And you got Cliff Robinson, sharpshooter, 18 years in the league, played for your Nets, most notably Portland. I mean, just 53 years old. Fuck cancer, and that's it's a bitch. But great player. I mean, Steven Jackson posted up on his social media. It was a funny story. I guess he looked at him. He's like, you smoke weed, and then he kind of, because he saw his lips, and he kind of, that's where he get the whole Uncle Cliff from. He like took him under his wing, and it was pretty. It was an awesome story. If you follow Steven Jackson, definitely get on and look at that one. Now it was pretty good.
Yeah, man, Uncle Cliff really that moniker really stick, and the headband is his signature. And you're right,
Uh-huh.
he finished his career on the Nets, like you say, most notably on Portland. But he did win Sixth Man of the Year in Portland. Went to a couple All Star
Mhm.
appearances. Um, Solid player in the league. Well traveled veteran. Going to be missed in the basketball community as well as his family. So condolences to his family and friends.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then another one, and not particularly in the basketball world, but he had an impact throughout uh, really sports as well as pop culture. Chadwick Boseman didn't, yep, didn't realize he was suffering through colon cancer. Filmed Black
Man.
Panther with it,
Hmm.
and just really persevered and made a difference. You turned into a real life superhero.
He did. I mean, just watching how they speak of him, how highly most of the players thought. You saw him at, Oladipo put on the Black Panther mask for him and performed the dunk at. I mean, you just so everybody respected him. There was not one bad thing you could say about that guy. Even Michael B. Jordan, through all the arguments, and that's just being, a brother. Working together, going through everything, and it's just crazy how just he kept it quiet. He didn't want anybody to know about his family, and it's commendable for what he done. Just great actor. 42, of course. James Brown, Marshall.
Hmm.
Black Panther I've never seen. I gotta see Black Panther. You know, I know I'm a
Yep.
black, but it's just I'm not a Marvel guy, but I'll kind of I'll push it to the side. Just definitely see that movie. But yeah, it's definitely sad, man.
Yeah, that movie I've seen twice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could say, oh, you want, well, all the superheroes or whatnot, but watching an all black cast with a featured black superhero, I mean, the movie was great in itself, but it just elevated that the fact that, I guess considering all the times we're going through, and Boseman was just the uh perfect lead man for it, because he took that role
Mm-hmm.
and took it off camera as well, as you can see through the premieres and whatnot, and all the kids and people he affected, knowing the significance of that role. So it just led to it's real heartbreak.
Absolutely. Thank you, James, for letting me know my volume was actually low.
Oh,
I
okay.
got it now. I pulled it down. That's what it was. You can hear me better?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I had to pull it down. But, it's definitely sad something like this will happen for somebody so young, man. 43. That's just that's crazy, man. That's not a full life. You never want to see somebody go, especially of the impact he had, and just yeah, man.
Yeah, it's real tough. And condolences to his family as well, who'll sorely be
Hmm.
missed. I believe he also has another movie coming out
Hmm.
uh, pretty soon. Would be on Netflix. I'm not entirely sure,
Five
but
Bloods or something. Five Bloods or something like that. Was
oh
it
no,
that?
that's out already. No, he has another
Okay.
one. He has another
Oh,
one too.
okay. Hmm.
But you know, well, we'll definitely keep thinking about him as well.
Hmm.
And John Thompson, whose
Yeah.
birthday would have been today, would have turned
Yeah.
79,
Hmm.
uh, passed away on Monday. Um, Longtime Georgetown coach.
Hmm.
Um, it's just you look at coaches, and you look at the in the college rank, many just
Hmm.
you know are there to elevate you to the NBA and look out for their their self interest. But it seems as if
Hmm.
John Thompson was different than most.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, for sure, man. It's he basically he was one of those coaches that actually cared about what happened on the court, off the court. I mean, just so many stories because my friend Chris, we're gonna try to get him on. He's like the biggest Georgetown fan. He actually got like me, like I said, 5 years ago. He actually told me, what it was about and what it did for the culture, about something about Georgetown, basically, turning a predominantly all white school to pretty much all black, all their players, and that's how he recruited. That's how he got the Ewans, AIs, Mornings, Matumbos, 4 Hall of Famers, and he just he put a stamp on school, like you said, our culture, and that's what it was about, man. He goes there in '72, pretty much non-existent, through the '80s, powerhouse, and everybody knows about the biggies. If you read up on it, how you know tough it was to actually win in there. They were just the toughest team. And then also he was before his time when it came to social injustice because they whole Prop 42 thing when he walked out against Boston College, and because he felt that it targeted black athletes, and he wasn't about that. He was like, no, you're not going to do this, to my guys, knowing what it would probably do to their, it's already kids coming from hard enough times to try to make it just by, playing basketball, and you do something like that, it's pretty tough. But that guy definitely he opened my eyes on a lot of things, man. And for that's it's just crazy.
yeah, and you know, looking back, you can see a lot of the players saying, "Yeah, he coached me, but he saved my life." You look at
Hmm.
Iverson and the rough uh, upbringing he had. You look at Ewing, like a Matumbo coming from another country, you know, and he had the story where he missed a class but he forgot to
Mhm.
tell his basketball program. And Thompson, as a prank, had a one way ticket for him back to the Congo. And
Mhm.
Mutombo said he never missed a class afterwards. So he
Mhm.
drove work ethic. He drove. He instilled values, and he was different than any other coach. He cared about his players um, on and off the court because basketball, there has to be life after it, and
Mhm.
you won't find many who cares, and
Mhm.
it's incredibly special, even more so as an African American coach.
Mhm. And 97% rate of his 4 year, 4 year athletes, 97% of them graduated college. That's what it's all about. Like I was talking, that's why I'm a fan right there for what he did, and I love coaches like that. Like for one of the biggest drug dealers in DC to always be at the games, and you call him in your office and like, listen, stay the fuck away from my players. And if, for
Hmm.
him to hold that much weight, he stayed away from them. I, man, how can you not like appreciate that, man? It's man, that's a big loss, man. That's
It really is.
real big.
Um, and I also didn't know, which I learned earlier in the week from in the group,
Mhm.
thanks to Robert, uh,
Mhm.
that he was the backup to Bill Russell
Mhm.
for 2 years, as well as I remember him in the booth over at TNT, and he always did a wonderful job because his basketball knowledge is top notch, and
Mhm.
his insight as well as personality really instilled through the broadcast. But
Mhm.
his coaching was legendary. He's a legendary person, and all the players that played under him were all choked up upon
Mhm.
learning this loss.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's just he touched a lot of lives, and you listen to Junkyard Dog. He was talking about it how he just he instilled such a work ethic in you, and he made you want to succeed. And you're not gonna, like you said, you're just not gonna find that with the many coaches. All they care about is getting you into the program, into the NBA, but they don't really give a damn what you do outside the court or off the court, excuse me. But
Hmm.
it's it's one of a kind, man. It's definitely special.
Yeah, I mean, you look at AI and his Hall of Fame induction. I mean, who
Hmm.
else did he have up there but John Thompson? So
Hmm.
it's just fitting to follow along for the ride and reach the end, and still have the same people there with you is really really touching.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, he's definitely gonna be missed, and condolences to his family and uh,
Mhm.
his friends as well. And I think he has a son, right? John Thompson the
Yeah. Oh
third.
yeah.
I forgot.
Third. Hmm. He
I
coached
forgot he was.
Georgetown for you.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hmm. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely it's man. I was off, man.
yeah, and big props to Big John. Definitely going to be
Hmm.
missed and well respected by his rivals. Um, Thank you, Pete, coming on. Apparently, he's a big Syracuse fan. Uh, Thank you for tuning in, Syracuse
Hmm.
fan. That Big East back in the day, and to gain the
Hmm.
respect from various schools, St. John's, Villanova, Syracuse. I mean, you have to be pulling some weight.
That's for sure. Big man whisperer.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, man. You mentioned your friend Chris, a big Hoya fan. Um,
Big time.
uh, how big of a fan does he? Um, how much did Thompson play into his life?
Big time. I mean, like he seriously, like when I first met him, I noticed all his Georgetown stuff. 'Cause like I said, I'm a Knicks fan. He had a picture of Ewing, like he had a few pictures of Ewing, Mutombo, and Morning, like at the I want to say the '97 All Star game. He had a picture, and I asked him about it. He's like, man. you still know, one of the biggest Georgetown fans like ever. And he used to coach. That's what I found out too. And that's how he basically everything, John Thompson did, he did. How he elevated those kids to what it needed to be, and he held them to a standard, especially on the court and off the court. That's what he did, and it was pretty much awesome to see because in here, and then he sat me down one day like Jacob, because I'm fairly a Duke fan, and then he just told me like, listen, you really understand what he did for our program, for our people, and I'm like, I heard about it because like I said, usually you watch TV, you saw like the big games, like dude, I never really saw Georgetown. And he said basically, I read up on some things, and like I said, I never forgot it. And then I'm like, wow, he really did a lot for our people. And I was like, man, that's something. I don't really want to be a fan of that. And but yeah, he even has tapes for like the biggies from like the 80s, the 90s. Like he's still, I'm gonna hopefully, one of these days I'm told him I'm gonna sit down and watch him because I really want to get into those old biggies battles. Because if you know me, I'm a big defensive person. I love defense. I
Yeah,
love the whole grind of getting in somebody's face and the whole Hoya paranoia thing. And they had people scared to go play him because they were that rough and tough. But just like I said, going back to Chris, meeting him, it was pretty amazing to see somebody that dedicated to this team. And he took his mindset, basically John Thompson's mindset, he used it as zone, and he put it towards every portion of his life, and I definitely appreciate that because it's not a lot of the black population up here isn't that big as you
yeah,
know, and to get that to sit down from somebody another an elder, and I like to listen. Anybody you have knowledge, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to take it all in. I'm never going to disregard what you tell me, and that's how I've always been. But if you sat down and talked to him about this stuff, you would be like, wow, this is a good guy. But shout out to Chris, man. I like I said,
yeah,
it's thank you for all that knowledge.
yeah, man. Thanks, Chris. Thank you, John Thompson. You know molded lives on and off the court, and you inspired others with your work ethic just to be like you. And I know it's a hard. He took it really hard. It's a big loss, and the time he was all nonsense. It is what it is. But
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah. But shout out to Chris. Shout out to John Thompson, and we'll keep this thing moving. Yeah.
Sure.
Um, you know, with the return of the playoffs, led the return of the Lakers. They were on a hot streak coming in. AD and LeBron, they stormed out of their meeting, but they came back on the court hard. Lillard left the series, uh, bad right knee, down 3-1. It more or less spelled the end of the Blazers. I guess
Hmm.
my man did the dance, and that was his exit out. Exit stage right. Yeah,
Definitely. Man.
um, yeah. Lakers wrapped that up in 5. CJ played well, but they didn't have the weapons to keep up with the Lakers. Lakers decided they wanted to play some defense, and LeBron and AD turned on their playoff game faces. So they clinched last Saturday. Uh, Now they're on a long layoff for game 1, awaiting the Rockets and Thunder matchup.
Hmm.
Uh, what do you make of the Blazers' run?
It was great. I mean, Dame Lillard basically came in and said, "We didn't come here not to make the playoffs," and that's exactly what they did. The bubble MVP, he, him, McCollum, Melo, I mean, especially him, he willed that team to where they were, and it was an amazing run. You can't take anything away from him. But the Lakers are too strong. This is we knew that they were going to give them trouble. When they did for the first game, you're like, okay. But then the Lakers just said, wait a minute, we still LA. I'm still LeBron. I'm still AD. Y'all must have forgot. But yeah, the man, luck runs out sometimes, and it did. It sucks, but better team won.
Yeah, like you said, the big news of Lillard really hurt the series. Oh, excuse me. But who really surprised me in the series was Melo. Came back with all the proving people wrong. Had a strong game five. I think he ended up with 27 points. Uh,
Hmm.
do you think Melo has one more year left in him?
I think I do, but I just got some news that I hate to. It's gonna be a little crossover, but Tom Seaver passed away. Like, whoa,
Gee,
wow. Just 2020 just gotta go, man. That's wild. RIP to Tom Seaver. You know, me as a Met fan, that's a legend. That's best pitcher in our franchise. That's crazy, but yeah. But back to Melo. But yeah, Melo, I think he has more left. I think he has 2 or 3 years. I hope he has 2 or 3, maybe 4 years left in him, man. Um, I want to see him get 30,000. I really do, and I think he can. He kept himself in shape. I want to see him back in New York, just to see that Swan song in there. But I can see him going back to Portland because they had such a great run.
mhm.
You put a whole season on that, you never know. But always been a Bello supporter and down with him. I just never doubt that dude. Even when he got blackballed,
Yeah,
he worked his way back and got 25K. And yeah, he'll be back.
yeah, most definitely. You just mentioned the passing of Tom Seaver, and you know, I'm no Met fan. I know you are, and I know how big he is for the organization. Like
Yeah,
Tom's
that's
terrific,
big.
like the guy, and you throw this whole year away because this has just been
Yeah,
trash.
this
And
ain't
I
this ain't it.
I do know he was supposed to get a statue in front of City Field, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they were planning on it. But this is wow. Fucking crazy, man. This is wow. I
Yeah,
I'm actually fucking speechless, man. This is
yeah.
crazy.
Like I've never seen him pitch, obviously, but watching all the video and the highlights and all, to know what one man can mean to an organization such as he
Uh,
did to them, and for him not to live long enough to see his statue go up is a crime against the Mets.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy. My grandfather always tell me like how good he was. Like you talk about just top notch guy that's gonna give you 7, 8. When we talk about the pitchers today, I remember when Stevie used to go 8, 7, 8, and there was no problems, and I hear it all the time. And
Yeah,
I'm going, but I wow, man, that I I'm really fucking speechless right now. That yeah, 2020 ain't it, yo. This shit
no, man,
is
this
it's
is
out of
this
hand.
is really, yeah, this is really trash, man.
Wow.
I know we got a bit off topic there, but something like that happens. You just gotta, roll with the punches. And I
Oof.
know I know those guys over at Baseball Life, Donk City, are really gonna touch on that on Monday.
Mm,
If you're not over in Baseball Life, you can easily go on in and check out their podcast, Donk City, Mondays, 7 o'clock.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's rough, man. But
Wow.
yeah,
Back to these playoffs, I guess. But, man.
yeah. Back to the Blazers. Melo back to the Knicks. It would be a nice fit for them. Really a veteran guy leading these youngsters, but you just hope it's not the Melo of old trying to get his FGAs up, realizing that he's a veteran, trying to pass the knowledge on to the young squad.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm not sure if he's ready for that or if he wants to try to win now, get his
Mm-hmm.
ring, and stay over in Portland. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever he decides, I'm cool with. I'm just glad he was able to prove a lot of those people wrong.
Absolutely. Old Melo apology. But yes, I want to see him come back for at least 2 or 3 years because 30,000 is, man, that's attainable for him. It
Yeah,
definitely is.
yeah, man. Trevor Ariza, most recently in the news for apparently a child abuse case. All the details are a bit murky, but you know how those cases go.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I guess it's a custody battle. So I know Ariza left the bubble. He decided to opt out to spend more time with his kid,
Mm-hmm.
and to have this pop up, it's just a bad look.
Yeah, really bad look.
Um,
Like
I mean, they obviously could have used him against the Lakers, but yeah, to have this is just a bad look.
for sure, man. But you just don't. You can't get yourself caught up in that kind of stuff, man. I understand. Me as a parent, yes, it gets tough, but there's I'm all for disciplining your kids, but there's something called it's a little bit too much. You can go
Mhm.
overboard, and you can't get caught up in that, especially now what's going on. You're trying to raise awareness for one thing, and then you do something like this, and then you just can't, man. It's jeez.
Yeah, to have the cards stacked against you uh, is bad enough, but you're just compounding the issue. I mean, I hope it's not true. I just hope it's
Mhm.
a bunch of court
You're saying?
procedural nonsense
Mhm.
and hearsay. But I guess we'll see what happens. We'll find out later on. But yeah, Trevor Ariza is caught in that, and the Lakers, like I said, with a long layoff, awaiting the Rockets Thunder's game 7 in about half hour, 45 minutes or so. Who would you like to see the Lakers face?
Ooh, firepower wise, Houston.
Hmm.
'Cause I think they can kind of run up the court with them. And OKC, they would be interesting to see that little, the young legs going against them and the CP3 kind of leading them. But I want to see Houston because I think they would give a better fight because of their system that they run. Because the Lakers pretty much got up and down the court. I've never seen LA run like that before. And yeah, I would say Houston. I think they match up a lot better, with Harden and Russell, LeBron, AD. And but what really would have been, see, this is the part where I think they're gonna miss Capella though, because you put him on this squad now, you got your rim protector. But now, PJ Tucker, once again, tough player, but how much can he do? What is he gonna do with Howard? What is he gonna do with McGee? AD, he's not gonna do anything with AD. Like it's not.
Yeah,
They have no size, man.
and it's even not so much the size. Like AD and Dwight are capable defenders. It's not like
hmm
they're like slow big men who can't get out to the 3-point line and then recover back to
hmm
block a shot. So Houston's going to have to really rely on their sketchy, their hot and cold 3-point shooting, or to have Harden just be a all world MVP, turn into superhero type deal in order to beat the Lakers. I think
hmm
it's a bad matchup for Houston. You look at OKC, Chris Paul, and his wits, his IQ might be able to win them about maybe 1, 2 games,
hmm
2 games if they're lucky.
hmm
I still don't think they have the firepower, but I think they have
hmm
a better chance than Houston would.
Okay, I feel that. Definitely
Um,
feel that one. I can see it too. It's just, man, I'm trying to think of the lineup something down. Yeah, I can definitely can see it, but I still can go Houston just because the whole dynamic of Harden and Westbrook looks better than CP and Gilgis Alexander. So that's
right.
my biggest thing. How can they really step up? Because against Lakers, you got to score. You got to score,
Yeah.
and I don't think CP is going to drop 30, 35, and Alexander's more of a 15 and maybe 20 guy right now. Gallo, that's what you get out of him. He's been pretty streaky in the playoffs, so
Yeah, he's been good.
he's been. But yeah, he's another one. He's playing for a contract, so of course he's going to step it up. But Steven Adams, and yeah, Steven Adams. Well, if you want to go big man with some Steven Adams, I can see Steven Adams holding a fort down against those two. So I do see your point, but I'm definitely going to go Houston just to play devil's advocate. But yeah, I definitely
And
see your point. That is a very good point.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch. You got, like I said, we got the Rockets and the Thunder coming up in about I guess now 20 25 minutes. Um, Going to go over to another series, one that ended. The Mavs and the Clippers. Clippers win that series in six. Game five was a blowout. Game six was not much closer. Uh, KP going down in game three. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of ended their put the nail in the coffin for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Luka and Marcus Morris. You look throughout the whole series. I think the Clippers just tried to bully Luka throughout the entire series.
Oh yeah. It was more of a frustrating kind of fouls that they were giving. Like, listen, we can't stop this guy, so we're gonna try to get in his head, but physically and mentally. But
Yeah,
he played dirty. Like, come on now, you can try to push him around, but don't start whacking the dude in the head and doing all this other nonsense just because you couldn't stop him. You have a superior team to them. Just play your game, and I lost a lot of respect for Marcus Morris on this one, man. Him, like, come on, like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? Like, does that make any sense? And Luca, I mean, Luca,
no, no,
yeah.
and Morris got ejected for this foul. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and people always reference the '80s and the '90s and the hard fouls, and they wouldn't have been ejected. It's I've seen a lot worse, but Morris has a history of playing dirty. Apparently,
Yeah.
there was question of him stepping on Luca's ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not within the realm of possibility that he's just out here to try to injure people because
Mm-hmm.
Marcus is known as a tough guy. He knows his
Mm-hmm.
role, and any way to win a series, I guess he will do. But
Mm-hmm. Luca did throw that elbow shimmy out there a little bit too, but
hmm
I think that could be retaliation for him. Feels like you're stepping on his ankles trying to hurt him. Even Luca said it, like, listen, I'm saying you're playing hard, but it's no place for that. Yeah, like I said, I grew up watching. We both grew up watching the '90s basketball, but you got to flow with the times. You're not going back to the '90s, so you're not going to get that again. So you just really gotta. I can understand like a little hard check or whatever. There's a ways of going about doing that, but when you legitimately looking like you're trying to hurt somebody, that's a no go.
exactly, exactly. Um, he so would you say that the refs won the series for the Clippers?
Hell no. All right. Listen, I've seen that too much in the basketball group. The refs didn't do a damn thing. When when you're getting your ass beat by 20 and 30, the refs can't spot you 20 or 30 in the games. You just not playing adequate defense. That's pretty much it. You have one or two calls. I can understand one or two calls shifted the games, and you're like, okay, something's wrong. But Dallas, we all knew they were gonna. I said in six. I knew they were gonna get at least two games, make it really interesting. But then it just fell off, especially after KP Sharman. He decided to go down again. I mean, Luca couldn't do it by himself. Luca can only do so much. It's now basically they tried. They look good. They have a bright future, but the Clippers too strong. Playoff P. I mean, he decided to show up,
hmm
and that was it right there. That's all they needed to show up was him, and then that was pretty much it. But yeah, the refs, no, not at all. For the most part, they've been letting them play, and that had no no impact on that ass whipping they got the last few games.
Yeah, I see this as a bright building block for Dallas, though. They got the playoff experience they needed. They got the playoff toughness that they need. I still think they're one player away from really taking that next step. Who that player is, I don't know. But it's nice to know that that's that's a nice name. He is from Texas.
Mm-hmm. You might want to. There you go. Lord
You
knows Tim Hardaway Jr. ain't gonna do it.
I'm going to write that down. DeRozan
Cap
to
space.
Mavs. Cap
Cap
space.
space.
It's noted.
Mark Cuban.
The Rose in the Dallas.
Listen.
But yeah,
Might happen.
I think they're one player away. It's a nice building block for them, and it's a bright future.
hmm I see James. James said he didn't see it that way. They were both playing physical. Luca was elbowing and shoving off every drive, and Morris was playing them tight, unlike most. At the end of the play, he felt like the rule hit the ball, and then on the follow through. So he said it should have been a flagrant, in my opinion. Flagrant one, in my opinion. I can see that, but
Hmm.
like I said, with his when Marcus Morris's mo, he does play a little bit dirty. Maybe like I said, and I did a test to that he was throwing elbows, so that'll happen. But still, you just gotta know your limits on certain things. And the way they were playing, come on, it was
Yeah,
intimidation time.
yeah, and this series again just proved that Kawhi might be the best player in the league.
Oh, absolutely, never can count him out.
No, silent assassin,
hmm
solid 30 and 14 all series,
hmm
averaged about 3 steals. So he was on point. It's almost like you knew he was there, but you didn't hear from him. But he was just
Oh,
killing guys.
oh yeah, his mid range is one of the best too. Watching it,
Hmm.
it just I don't know. It just seems like he shoots the ball hard, but it happens to go in. It's like he doesn't
Yeah,
have the touch, and it just goes in.
yeah, he makes it look effortless.
Yeah.
You know, real smooth with it, real efficient,
hmm
and I'm excited to see their next matchup against the Denver
Yeah.
Nuggets.
Call
Um,
that. Yes. I hate it. I didn't. No, but I will say that was the best series of the playoffs so far because the
hmm.
way Murray and Mitchell went at it, and Jokic and Gobert, man, that's gonna be a nice little rivalry to come up for years because they went to work on each other, and it just, man, it could have went either way yesterday. It could have went either way, and then even at the end, Conley I thought it was going in. I just saw it go. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh man, and
yeah.
then mm,
Oh no, I'm sorry. Keep going.
no, 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 go ahead, go ahead. It just, I'm still in shock of that game because it was so good, and it showed you also that Jokic is a bad man. He might not be the most fleet of foot, but man, he got some moves down there. And then Murray, with his emotional play, praying for Biana, playing for Jacob. I mean, he put him on his shoes, and just watching that, it makes you proud, man. To see how good that kid is actually becoming. He's superstardom. Superstardom, begins in the playoffs, and he's doing it.
Yeah, I mean that Murray Mitchell matchup you mentioned was like epic. It
hmm
got Mitchell a max. Gonna get Mitchell a max deal, 5 for a
hmm
buck 70 when free agency opens up. And we're taking a look here at Game 6. Uh,
Denver
picked up
had
at
it.
about 6 minutes here. Yeah, Denver had this one,
hmm
and Mitchell, to his credit, just went to work to bring his team back. This step back three here. He had a bunch of tough shots
hmm
uh, going here. You
He
know,
locked down.
over. Hmm.
Yeah, he played defensively really well too. That he really dug in defensively, which was great to see.
Yeah, and look at Murray just matching Mitchell point for point. Murray was just on fire. He throwaway threes, off the
hmm
curl threes, 1 foot threes, double teamed. I mean, he just went all out. Mitchell with the
hmm
answer here on the shot.
hmm Yeah, look at this. Woo, man.
Yeah, yeah. That sidestep is really nice, and his it, pullback game is epic.
hmm
Stopping on a dime, like we said before, but Murray with the shoes found a found another level that I guess he didn't even know he had.
Mm-hmm. Look at this.
Look at
Boom.
this, and that was a dagger.
Unconscious.
That shot there was a dagger. Put the Nuggets up by 10, and really led them to Game 7, which was one was a weird. It was a weird game.
Mm-hmm. Because they were both they really weren't that efficient. Murray in the fourth quarter, he couldn't really hit a shot. So it was pretty much, Joker's game to take over. Even Gobert too. He showed me some things. He was actually scoring. And Mike Conley, he might as well stayed his ass home playing like that. If he if he played a little bit better, that game would have been different. But he could not hit a shot to save his life. And this reminded us of like some freaking mid '90s game. You know that like little divot in that time where the scoring was down, and even the Knicks and Heat game, even though they had like great players on offense, freaking final scores were like 80 to 77 mostly every game, which it was refreshing to see. A defensive struggle. You know, and those guys were at the end. You can tell they were sucking wind hard.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
putting everything into it.
they put in a lot of effort, and Denver, just like last year, they had a huge lead in Game 7 against Portland, and then
Mm-hmm.
blew that. They had a huge lead at halftime here, and
Mm-hmm.
Denver
Move
just
that.
and Utah decided to come back, and Mitchell hit a lot of tough shots. I mean, he was double teamed. He hit a few floaters in the lane, and Rudy Gobert um, played really well in the third, fourth quarter. You catch the alley
Mm-hmm.
here, nice pass from Conley, which I thought was an
Should
and
have been a
one.
foul. Yeah, he got smacked in the face pretty hard. But look at this move right here. Look at that
Yeah,
net.
Joker really he upset me so many times with him not dunking the ball, but that was a really nice move he put on there. And
Mm-hmm.
now we get towards the last 17 seconds of the game. There were so many
Mm-hmm.
things wrong with this.
Mm-hmm.
One, they initially couldn't get the inbound in, and they screwed that up, and they
Mm-hmm.
wasted a timeout. So that led them down. That put them in one timeout. When they finally get the inbound in, Gary Harris, who came back after the mini layoff,
Mm-hmm.
made a nice defensive play on Mitchell, and then they decided to go for the layup instead of pulling out for an expected foul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Missed
that
the
was
layup,
crazy.
and now there's reports that I guess the refs missed the call that Rudy Gobert stepped out of bounds when he grabbed the
Mm-hmm.
rebound.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Really?
Yeah, so
Hmm.
apparently the refs missed the call where Gobert stepped out of bounds after he grabbed the rebound, and then you get the
Mm-hmm.
Conley shot, which was halfway down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was definitely it was a tough one. At that moment, I don't think you're thinking, Mitchell's open on the on the wing, but damn, it really almost went in. But yeah, Conley kind of he sucked. That's no other way I could say it. I was trying to be nice, but no, he was trash.
No, Conley came out well in the first couple of games. He shot the ball efficiently, but
Hmm.
the end game for the Jazz was really rough to watch. It's a sad ending, and I know our good friend Angel over there, huge Jazz fan, really upset over the way the series went down, and we'd like to thank him for getting the threads initiated for that series. Big
For
shout out
real.
to Angel.
Thank you.
But yeah, that ending was one of the best and worst I've seen, I guess, depending uh, on your vantage point. But Nuggets going on to play the Clippers. Who would you like in that? Who would you like in that series?
I'm high on the Clippers. I am high on the Clippers, but I'm going not high on the Clippers. I'm high on the Nuggets. I'm gonna go Clippers Matter of fact, we're going. Oh, geez,
Yeah,
sirens in the city.
yeah,
Surprise,
man.
surprise.
It's
But
going down.
but no, actually, hot take. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7 because they can match them. They can run with them. And as you can see, if Murray's playing like this, and then you got Jokic going off like he's doing, and maybe Porter can come around. Gary Harris, if he gets his stroke back, they're gonna make it a series. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go against the grain and go Nuggets in 7.
Okay. I still have the Clippers, and I have the Clippers in 6. I got the Clippers going to a Western Conference Final. I don't see Paul George struggle, uh, having another struggling series like he did before.
Hmm.
Um, if Paul George is going to play like Paul George, the Nuggets are going to be in for a long, a short series because their defense is so Jekyll and Hyde. But what Denver did show me in that series is that they did have some heart.
Hmm. Man, that's all it takes sometimes, man. It takes that heart to win games, and they pulled that one out.
Yeah, it was real cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Next series is the Rockets and the Thunder. We're gonna go to a game 7, about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Rockets should have won this series 2 games ago if they didn't blow it. You
Yeah.
know, they get an inbound pass in if they ever stop taking so many damn threes. But
Mm-hmm.
as much as I shit on Chris Paul, he's really showed me something this series as well. He bona fide leader, put the team on his back.
How dare you?
I
I
know.
never got it. I never got it. I love Chris Paul, love everything he stands for. Like sometimes but great players always have that about them. No, they got that asshole when they needed to, and Chris Paul, he's no different. Great leader on the floor. He's tough. He had some injuries, we kind of wiped him out with the Clippers. Just bad luck injuries with his hand. You know,
Hmm.
but what he's doing with his team is commendable, man. Because OKC, I thought they were going to be in the dumps. I was like, yeah, if they're lucky to get an eighth spot, if that fifth, fourth or fifth in the West, then that's can't get no better than that. But with this series, my heart wants OKC to win, but the basketball high in me want. I'm like, I kind of want Houston to win, but you know, we'll see. But I kind of want Houston just to see him chuck up all those threes and freaking.
Yeah. Westbrook played well game 5, didn't have a turnover, and they won by about 15, 20 points.
Hmm.
Come around to game 6, like we're watching here, we picked it up. Houston up by 6. Chris Paul hit a huge three.
Hmm.
Paul hit another three over Covington and slaps him on the ass on the way by. Good
Gotcha.
game.
Gotcha.
And Paul gets fouled here going to the line for
Hmm.
2, which turns out to be a difference in the game.
Hmm.
What's not shown here is the awful play of Westbrook down the stretch. You see the turnover, which was one of about 3 or 4 he had down the stretch.
Hmm.
Not to mention he airballed a shot from the free throw line.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Took a mid range jumper from the baseline, brick that. Harden didn't touch the ball with a pat for the final 2 minutes.
Nope.
Um, the Rockets, the only thing that can beat the Rockets are the Rockets. They're getting their own way.
Exactly. That's it. They can look so good one game, and then the next game you're like, why are you guys even here? Like, what?
Hmm.
You got two MVPs on your team, and you just can't. You can't get it together. Like, what are you doing, guys? I mean, OKC is good, but you're clearly you're a better team. Like it's just we're missing something here, or once again, it's the coaching. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not letting it go. No, I'm not salty about D'Antoni at all, but it's just it's not working. It won't work. it's it's just not. Uh,
Here's a little nugget for you. The Rockets are the number one rated defensive team in the bubble, in the
They're
playoffs.
what? They're what? Say that again.
The Rockets are the number one team rated defensively in the playoffs.
Rockets?
Yes, the Houston
What?
Rockets, number one defensively. You didn't
Yeah,
think about that, did you?
yeah, 2020 in it when that shit happened too. Yeah, and Tony led team defense. Shit. But well, props to him, which makes it even worse for them because obviously, why are you going to a game seven with OKC? But like you tested to, bad in by play, just bad plays down the stretch, and it will kill you. And Harden not touching the ball makes it even worse.
Yeah, yeah, it's real tough. But Lou Dort has been playing some real nice defense on him. Uh, they're getting some real contributions from Schroeder, getting in guys' heads. PJ Tucker and getting in Harden's head. Schroeder has played well. I've been a fan of Schroeder ever since his days in Atlanta.
Yeah, I remember you talking about him.
Chris Paul being a leader willed this team, probably the least talented team he's had, and if he's able to get this game 7 hours, his greatest performance ever.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, it's going to be real exciting tonight. We'll have a thread up in the group. We'll watch it all together, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to jump right into uh, another series in the game that's on right now with the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Bucks eliminated Orlando, and I think the Bucks probably still thinking they're facing that other Florida team.
I've been waiting to say this. And you're calling Giannis the MVP, and I'm gonna go back to it. Was this happening to LeBron? Absolutely not. But no. And like I've been saying, Jimmy Butler, don't start to doubt him. Leave that guy alone. Superstar Jimmy. And what do you call? What's your nickname? You call him Hollywood. There you go. Hollywood.
Hollywood,
Hollywood. Hollywood Jimmy.
Hollywood Jimmy. Yeah, he's really showed out, man.
But yeah, I just Giannis, dude, what MVP? What are you doing? Like, what's going on here? But you talk about barbecue chicken. I mean, Jimmy just feasted. It came back for seconds and thirds and midnight snack as well.
Yeah, I mean, Bucks down by one, about 4 minutes to go, and Butler decides, he wants to go off. Had 27, ended up with 40.
Hmm.
You pick a spot, any spot, he lit them up. And what you notice on this
Hmm.
during this video montage here, Giannis is nowhere near him.
Yeah, yeah, yes. That's what I wanted to bring up. He said something. Oh, I do what coach tells me to do. And who said it? Oh, was it? No, was it Draymond? No, it wasn't Draymond. I forgot who said. Well, you started a team. You're supposed to say, basically, no, I got him. You get on him. You're the defensive player of the year. Why not get on their best player? That's the kind of stuff I hate. Dude, you're supposed to be the top guy in the league, and you're deferring to who was even guarding Jimmy. Oh, what? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Every place on the sport like a hot spot at NBA Jam TE, but it just it was ridiculous. But John, you gotta come with it. You about to go down 2-0 right now, and Miami. That's Randy's sleeper team. It's looking good, Randy. It's looking good.
Yeah, Miami up by 3 right now, 105, 102, 5 minutes to go left in the fourth. Uh, you know, it
Oh.
was Isaiah Thomas who mentioned that Giannis should be on the best player. But, what was also uh, quite noteworthy, he
Mhm.
had 3 points in the fourth quarter, took 3 shots.
3.
We've seen this before against Orlando where he disappeared down the stretch in the only game Orlando won.
Hmm.
And we mentioned last week, well, he makes a lot of mistakes in the fourth. Does he really show up to be clutch? I get it that the defense plays a certain way against him, where they,
Mm,
trap the middle of a floor and you have to kick out to the shooters. So a lot of
mm.
it does depend on the shooters, but you cannot still be missing free throws down the stretch.
Oh my goodness, man. He got to get better at that, and also being able to pass out a double. You have to be able to see the double teams coming.
Hmm.
He's usually good at seeing the floor. So, and plus, when Giannis is on the floor, he got shooters on. Like basically, like KJ said, he got a couple of AKs. He got a couple of nines. I mean, he got Corver. Bledsoe. Bledsoe's been shooting well. You got Brooke Lopez who's been shooting well. You got a lot of
Hmm.
guys that can shoot. You got to be able to. That's what a vision on the court is key for him. You got to be able to hit it to those guys because obviously you hit a double team, somebody's open. But we'll see. But Miami's not these young guys. Tyler Hero, Duncan, all that he thought was Jumpers Robinson. Um, everybody's getting into it. Bam. This
Hmm.
is Miami team, man.
Uh, yeah, my man Dragic. This is not Orlando where you have one weapon, and you can get away with it. Miami has shooters everywhere.
Mhm.
Iguodala, Jay Crowder. You have to play defense on these guys.
So
Um,
so call
and
them
it looks
SB.
like, and it looks like now they're right now they're up by 6, 4 minutes to go.
Hmm.
About to be
Oh.
down 2-0 to the Miami Heat.
Mm-hmm.
Some changes are going to have to be made. I don't know if it's in the lineup or if it's their schemes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to find Giannis a place to somewhere for him to set up in the post and kick out to his shooters because he's coming down the floor full steam. We're just building a wall like Toronto did.
That's all you gotta do. Wall up. And that's it. And and that's what I hate. Dudes are 6'9", 6'10", no post game. And I'm like, they know what you're gonna do. You only take 3 steps to get to the rim pretty much, and they're not gonna keep. Oh yeah, let's keep letting him roll down. No, you wall up, change your scheme up, get him on the block against somebody. Then if he decides to come in double, you kick it out to the shooters, and then it's all on your shooters. But I don't know, but like you, I do agree though. Yeah, change that scheme up, Budenholzer, or your ass is going
Yeah,
home.
yeah, they're going to be a real early and surprising exit. And I'm going to get into our last series. The was just started. Um, Toronto's really scaring me. You have to realize this is not Brooklyn anymore. It's a much better team. It's time to
Mm-hmm.
wake up. The Boston Celtics.
Yes.
I was a good friend Chris, his team,
Mm-hmm.
and Kemba's been showing out. Jason Tatum continuing his climb, working toward his max deal. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
that's the theme.
Yep.
Playoff performance leading to max contracts.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, I mean, wake up, Toronto. Wipe the coal out your eye. Because Boston's coming at you hard right now. And you're down 2-0. Now I think you might be, packing it in. Look at this. Oh, and the last we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
just
we're gonna.
talking Marcus. Let's talk about Marcus Smart.
Hmm.
he just boom, huh? Blackout. I mean, he just. I mean, he was just hitting them.
Yeah,
Got him. Boom.
yeah, and this goes to, and we were questioning Boston's depth in the beginning of the playoffs, but
Hmm.
it appears guys like Rob Williams and now Marcus Smart, who's not even
Hmm.
known as a 3-point shooter, got hot, knocked down five threes in the fourth, and Kemba Walker was cold in this one.
Oh yeah, he was. But he let him keep shooting. But we saw the MSG Kimba. I can't wait to get to that one. I want you to play
Hmm.
that at least more than once because I want to see it. Yeah, buddy.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what we
that
call.
that that
Yes,
what do you call it?
we call it getting scraped in New York. But that is the Kimba special. I mean, oh man, that woo. That is definitely the Kimba special, man. He just that step back is it's hard. It's mostly money every time. You can't stop that. But Boston, that's my pick to come out of the East. Um, like I said, we were talking about. I worried about the depth a little bit, but Hayward will be back, so I don't think he's gonna miss the rest of them. If you get this series, he gets a night. If you make this a quick series, you get some rest for him. You're a little bit stronger, and like you said, Williams, Smart, Daniel Tice has been like a brick, pretty much. He's becoming a great enforcer for that team. Tatum, Brown even gets going, you're going to be in trouble. Any team is going to be in trouble once they all start going. And
Yeah.
Kemba, he is basking in this time to finally get into the playoffs and show what he can do. We all knew what he can do in the regular season, but you know, playoff K, that's a different story.
Yeah. He's already taken them farther than Kyrie ever did,
Hmm.
and which I think is good because this puts a target on Kyrie's back for next year.
Hmm.
But you look at Toronto and how they executed the end of the game. I don't know if they should have taken a timeout there. It was a tough shot to make for Van Fleet, but they need more out of Gasol. They need more out of Siakam. And Nick Nurse went in a post game and said how Tatum shot about 14, 15 free throws.
Oh
They,
yeah.
yeah, they need more. They have to wake up. I still expect them to win in six.
Mm.
Playoff pedigree is too much, and they're too well coached. But yeah, maybe it's about time the wake up call they needed because it seems like they're just walking through.
Who went in 6?
I still got Toronto winning in six. Boston's not winning another game.
Raps, raps, 6,
Yeah, but six,
6.
man. That's it.
Yeah, 6 my ass. You gonna 6 your ass all the way the hell home out of that bubble? Your ass is done. I mean,
Shower up and get out.
yeah, get out. I mean, call Lou Will and see what them strippers at. Your ass is. But no, I'm not gonna call them out just yet. But I think they're on the ledge. We got into like the Lion King where Scar grabs them. That's what they are right now. They not to the long live the king part. He pushes them off, but they right here. They got the claws in right now. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, man, they're barely holding on.
Hmm.
Barely holding on. Miami up by 7, about 3 minutes to go. Real close to uh, taking a 2-0 lead.
Hmm.
About 10, 15 minutes away from game 7 for the Rockets. We're
Hmm.
going to close this out with an update on the WNBA. Uh, they took a leave as well. They've been really far out into social justice as well. They
Hmm.
came back over the weekend. Their playoffs start in 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks. Next week on the 8th. We got some playoff
Okay.
spots clinched as well. Here we got the standings.
Okay.
Top 8 make the playoffs. You see the Storm, the Aces, the Sparks, the Lynx, and the Sky all clinch playoff berths.
Hmm.
The Wings currently hold the 8th seed. They got Savali back.
Hmm.
She had a
That's big.
double-double 2 games in a row.
Hmm.
Indiana Fever a game out. The Mystics 2 games out. Uh, Griner from the Mercury has left the bubble, but Diana
Mm.
Taurasi has killed it.
Yeah, she stepped up.
Yeah, Mercury won 4 straight games. She had another 30 spot last night.
You seen the
Knocked down
shot she
7
was
threes.
hitting? It was one where she kind of she was on that like the elbow, and then she kind of
Mm-hmm.
like did some kind of fake, and then she went for it. She just stepped back and just like whoa, yeah, she's on another level right now. And what is she, 34, and she's still putting up buckets like her rookie year. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, you should see with the goat shirt that they have for her. It is legit.
Really? Oh, awesome! I
Yeah,
gotta check that out.
it's legit.
Oh, nice.
Um, like we say, the top 2 seeds in the league get a double bye.
Hmm.
Uh, 5 plays 8, 6 plays 7. We can explain that later on next week. But
Hmm.
shout out to who I've been saying to all year, Vandersloot from the Chicago Sky set the
Hmm.
record for uh, game assists in the game.
Mm-hmm.
18.
18. And then the last one going to her wife, Allie Quigley. Hey, that you can't write that up. That was pretty
Yeah, you
awesome.
can't write that any better. That is unbelievably sick. Uh,
Mm.
you know, I've like I said, I've been praising her name all year. I still think she's the MVP of the league. But yeah, shout out to Sloot,
Mm-hmm.
18 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Crystal Dangerfield, who, again, we've been calling out rookie of the month.
Rookie of the month, rookie of the year. That's But yeah, definitely those are my two players of the week. Vandersloot, especially with that 18 assists right there. She's averaging career high 9.3 assists a game. And Brianna Stewart's been going to work. Don't forget about that. She's averaging 24, 8, and 3. Looking for that MVP. Oh, what a comeback year she's been having. And like I said, Griner was my pick, but now she left, so I kind of gotta switch it back to Brianna right now. But yeah, that girl, she's come back hard from her injury. Like usually with
Mm-hmm.
Achilles are rough, and she's come back strong. She looks like her old self, and it's good to see. It's good to see any good basketball. I try to watch at Liberty. As you see what the record is, it's kind of rough. But
Yeah. I mean, what's her name? Zoe B had 21 rebounds, though. It was
damn
nice.
right,
She
she's
was
a
nice.
beast.
Yeah.
Amanda's a beast, man. That's who you need under them. She's stop shooting those fucking threes. She'll be all right. Amanda, I love you, but you can't shoot. Stop it, fam. but but yeah, definitely. With Liberty, like I said, they're just playing for the number one pick again. Put someone with Sabrina would be looking good next year. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, this league has been both of them. NBA, WNBA, NBA showing up for social injustices, for them to stop their games. That's good. That they're coming together and respect it. That's it. Respect
Yeah,
it.
man. Yeah, man, no doubt. I'm excited to see Kennedy Carter from the Dream come back. That's my
Yes.
female AI, so I'm
Hmm.
glad to see her back. But yeah, shout out to the ladies. They haven't been getting the recognition they deserve as far as their social justice messages that they've been putting out, because they've been leading the charge. Um, but yeah, playoffs next week. Miami up 8, minute 45 to go. Giannis at the line right now, getting ready to see if we can close this
Break
out.
some more.
Unbelievable.
To break some more. Look,
No,
what is he trying to
yeah,
do?
no, he. So,
I,
right
I,
now, Miami up 7.
I don't know what the hell that was, but it went in. He said
Yeah, man.
he was doing like the drunk white girl dance when they're in the club and doing this shit. That's like what he looked like. Sorry, I just had to say. But but yeah, that's definitely. Let's see. Yeah, Milwaukee just he might as well just leave.
Might
Cause
as
he
well, yeah, man, might as well start that Giannis Warriors rumor up again.
started right now. Oh, he can come to the
Yeah.
Knicks and make us look good. I mean, I'll take some second round appearances and getting bounced as long as we get to the playoffs. I'll take anything right now. We need
Oh
Jesus.
my God.
We need
Miracle.
something. Are you ready for a miracle? I don't know, but we need it. But yeah, this team is. I know Jaden Henry's son. Shout out to him. He's been pretty active in the chats, rooting for his Heat. They're looking good right now. And oh,
Yeah.
my man's. Oof. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a good episode, man.
Yeah, man, it's been good. We appreciate everyone coming in and having their input, and check out the rest of our life group podcast. Like I mentioned earlier, Dong City on Monday nights at 7. Uh, Audible, over in Football Life, Randy and Matt, they do an excellent job on Tuesday nights at 7. Got the start of the NFL coming up. You better check them out, because they're
Mm-hmm.
ready to pounce. They've been going on Hard Knocks. They've reviewed the league. They really
Mm-hmm.
break it down. They do a wonderful job.
Mm-hmm.
Pod Jobbers, Thursday nights, 8
Mm-hmm.
o'clock. Yeah, do it for them.
Pod jobber. Pod jobbers, baby. Yeah,
You
definitely
know,
do your thing. Check those guys out. Get those views up. Also total basis on the weekend, Sunday. Get ready for the Lord's Day and get ready for some total basis and fantasy baseball with Felipe and Sean O'Connor Flannery.
yeah, man. If you guys are right now, a lot of them are in their playoffs or leading right up to the playoffs, past the midway point of the baseball season. You get their advice, pick up some guys, and win yourself some money. Those guys are knowledgeable. Hell,
Hmm.
I've thanks to them, I've won one. So they know what they're doing.
There you go, for sure, man. Definitely.
But yeah, thank everyone out there. You can catch us on Anchor, on YouTube by subscribing to the Life Group Podcast channel. Any parting words for our audience, Jacob?
Thank you everybody for participating in the thread. I saw that. James, always good output. Chris, Hito, my man Pete. Thank you for chiming in. We appreciate everybody that watches. Just like Leon said, check us out on all the other you know platforms. Definitely get them. Listen. I'm gonna catch you outside, but no, I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you. We appreciate it as always, and take us home.
Yeah, man. Thank you again, Jacob. Thank you again, everyone else. And if you're watching, about to jump on here, watch Game 7 of the Rockets and
Sir.
Thunder, get that game thread going, and
Yep.
again, good night, everybody, and until next time, bow out.
All out.